Good evening, live from our Joy News studios at Kokomimle. My name is Ni Akrofi Smartabe. Coming up in the next 1 hour, court denies Laurent Gbagbo's ally bail again. Ghanaians should be bracing themselves for a nationwide pharmacy strike action as Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana is likely to join the ongoing strike. Scores of aggrieved residents of the Northern Regional Capital Tamale demonstrate over prepaid meters. Ghana Investment Promotion Center promises to pursue aggressive investment promotion drive to complement the services industry that's in business. And on the international front, protests over an anti-Islam film made in the US are spreading across the Middle East and North Africa. Details of all these stories and more coming up here on Joy News at 8 with me, Ni Akrofi Smartabe. Now to the details of our story. To our very first story, the local government ministry has moved on with implementation of its share of the directives spelled out by President Mahama in his policy statement about a fortnight ago. It has inaugurated a 16,000-member task force to form part of the National Sanitation Program. The sanitation recruits will undertake environmental campaigns and public education as well as general cleanup exercises in collaboration with Zoom Alliance, a subsidiary of waste management company Zoom Lion. The inauguration was done this morning by President Mahama at the Agboglushi market. Gifty and Dalpia has more.
Inaugurating the task force at the Agboglushi market can best be described as a strategic move since the market has been plagued by filth for a long time. According to Local Government and Rural Development Minister Samuel Ofosu-Ampofo, rehabilitation works at the Kpon landfill site have been completed, adding works on 4 other dam sites at Oblugu and Malam will be completed by the end of October. Other sites are also being developed at Dompase and Takrady. The minister asked Ghanaians to cooperate with the task force to ensure the success of the program.
We have crafted an agenda. An agenda is a cleaner Ghana, a shared responsibility for a better Ghana. The ministry has taken delivery of 190 solid waste metal containers costing about $885,000. The first batch of 85 containers of skip containers and roll-on and roll-off containers were given out to this assembly a couple of days ago, and the remaining 105 containers will be delivered by the end of next month.
He commended Zoom Alliance for their efforts in providing some 20,000 litter bins, shovels, 80 refuse trucks, among others. Inaugurating the task force, President Mahama stressed the importance of the program since Ghana was on the verge of missing out on the achievement of the Millennium Development Goal on sanitation. He said a 90,000-ton capacity compost plant at Ajin Kotoku has been rehabilitated and directed that medical waste be treated there according to international best practices.
It is a shame that in the 21st century, we still have trucks standing by the beach and pouring raw liquid waste into the sea. And so a contract has been approved by Parliament for a new liquid waste treatment plant so that all the liquid waste in Accra will be sent there and treated and the water discharged into the sea. We have come out with a program to build an incinerator so that waste from all the hospitals in Accra will be sent to the incinerator and they will be burnt at the incinerator so that we don't stand the risk of medical waste infecting our children.
The task force is made up of members of the security forces, NADMO, and environmental service providers, Zoom Alliance.
Now, the ongoing strike involving a section of pharmacists could go nationwide if the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana goes ahead with its threat to join the industrial action. Immediate past president of the Government Hospital Pharmacists Association, Raymond Tete, tells Joy News the mother body of pharmacists will join the current strike by government pharmacists if their demands for migration onto the single spine salary structure are not met.
The Government and Hospital Pharmacists Association strike has entered its 9th day. Patients are feeling the pinch more as access to drugs remain a challenge. In spite of the strike action, patients at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital still visited the main pharmacy, hoping to be served. But they were disappointed, so they had to walk away.
Kolebu pharmacist wo man bedo ha mabutu nkonya no say omko strike me kra minim na me bisa am so omko strike mama oyare wo ba be hwe cancer for no I'm going to say me say me kwa doctor say omko strike and I don't know.
It's really bad, and I think if it is not like that before, because when they are in, I think we get almost everything inside, but now that it has happened like that, I have to go search for the prescription because but because of you have to go down there for the things. If you are not careful, you even lost most of the things that you are given. So I'm not going to search for mine.
Doctors are likely to prescribe medication to these patients at a consultation, but a greater challenge would be where to purchase the drugs. Patients flood this private pharmacy opposite the Kolebu Teaching Hospital to buy medicine. As they queue for hours, their only hope is that the pharmacy has in stock the medicine they need.
Babi echewa akamofia mo hie wolu no wo onyo homoko no abia ko akwa ko bo no eko yeluda dano ya wo ko ahyeje no no eko bebe oba pelehia agbagbene.
The immediate past president of GOSPA, Raymond Tete, maintains the strike would go on, hinting the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana may join the strike.
It's taken us a year to solve a problem that more or less was solved within weeks for others. And we've had to go through a whole process, what they call due process, and we are not still finding solutions. We have been asked to go for another compulsory arbitration, which hopefully we will subject ourselves to. And we hope maybe that will bring a solution. Other than that, the impasse continues. The Mother Association is concerned, and that is why they are expressing misgivings about what is going on. We expect that it doesn't come to that. It doesn't come to the level where all pharmacists in the country will join in. But it looks like it.
GOSPA has slated a press conference for September 14 to tell Ghanaians their next line of action.
Now, the Human Rights Court here in Accra will hear the class action suit in which some former students of the Methodist University are seeking their reinstatement on the 25th of this month. The 79 students were withdrawn because the National Accreditation Board found their entry qualifications deficient. The students joined the National Accreditation Board, the Ministry of Education and the university in their action, praying the courts to declare their withdrawal illegal and a violation of their rights to education.
The directive by the National Accreditation Board some 5 months ago affected thousands of students in a number of the private universities, with 1,004 coming from the Methodist University alone. The affected students were found to have entered with grades below the admission requirements set by the NAB. The students, however, insist they fulfill the requirements as set out by the university and so cannot be made to suffer. The action comes despite an agreement brokered by the NAB that required the universities to bear the cost involved in ensuring that the students make up the grades. The students had thronged the court premises, but the case could not be heard because the various parties had not filed their responses. Counsel for the students, Gary Nimakumafu, who spoke off camera, said they have since filed an application for an injunction to restrain the school from carrying out the directive from the NAB, so students will be readmitted until a determination of the matter.
And moving over to the courts, where the ally of former Ivorian leader Laurent Gbagbo, currently being held in Ghana awaiting extradition, has again been denied bail. The Human Rights Court, which is hearing a case for Justin Kone Katinan's release, has meanwhile adjourned to the September 25 the case because a number of documents presented before the court were in French. Marian Toure was in court this morning and has this report.
Justin Kone Katinan was arrested in Accra on August 26th at the request of the Ivorian government to be extradited to face prosecution for war and economic crimes committed during the recent post-election violence in the country. His lawyers' oral request for bail was turned down a little over a week when they managed to get the BNI to produce him in court for the very first time. The case was called at 10 a.m. at the Osei Magistrates Court with the prosecution asking for more time to collate their documents, which had come in late from the Ivory Coast. Several of the documents, they explained, were also in French and needed translating. The defense then put in a formal request for Mr. Katinan to be bailed on grounds that he had been in custody for 4 weeks, especially when they were not aware of any extradition agreement between Ghana and the Ivory Coast. Presiding Magistrate Abuaje Tando, however, turned down the application, citing what he described as the circumstance of the case. He explained that he finds it compelling to adjourn the case as translation is a necessary requirement to aid in effective prosecution. Mr. Katinan's lawyer, Patrick Sobojo, was disappointed at the turn of events.
I'm very disappointed. The state was ordered by the court last week to start the extradition process. We had come to court hoping that this would be done. As it is now, this didn't happen. And on that basis, we repeated our application for bail because we think that the unreasonable delay should not be suffered by our client. Well, the court in its infinite wisdom thought that the timeline was not what could be defined as unreasonable delay, and on that basis refused our bail application. So we'll simply look at the law and advise ourselves.
He is optimistic his clients will be let off when the court sits again in less than 2 weeks. Marian Toure's report.
Let's cross over to the presidency now, where the President John Dramani Mahama has urged the new Nigerian High Commissioner to Ghana, Ademola Oluseyi Onafowokan, to work towards advancing the ECOWAS integration project. This, he said, will eliminate the needless boundaries that hinder inter-country trade and interactions. The High Commissioner was at the presidency to present his letters of credence.
High Commissioner Ademola Oluseyi Onafowokan will be replacing Musiliu Olatunde Obanikoro. Presenting his letters of credence, he observed Nigerians hold Ghana in high esteem and assured of his preparedness to promote greater economic ties between the two countries.
I want to thank Your Excellency, sir, for finding time despite your schedule, especially with the campaign and the political process going on, to find time to even visit Nigeria recently. I want to pledge to Your Excellency that I'll give my best, and indeed the best of Nigeria, to Ghana, to this administration, to move forward our friendship. Pledge that we'll do everything to support the Republic of Ghana in every way we can. Thank Your Excellency for the understanding with our Nigerian traders, and we'll pledge that we'll keep talking to them so that they work according to the law of the land in line with ECOWAS regulations.
Nigeria is the largest economy in our West African sub-region and has a certain natural leadership role that it must play. Ghana is willing to support Nigeria at all times to be able to play that role in order that we're able to more closely integrate our economies in the sub-region. We all know the value of a united sub-region where our people can move about freely and pursue their business without the many customs barriers that we put in their way. I want to warmly welcome you to Ghana and to assure you that we will work closely with you to build a relation between our two countries.
President Mahama called for a removal of restrictions between the two countries and across the sub-region to allow for free movement of persons and trade.
According to a statement from the Ministry of Information, the late President, Professor John Evans Atta Mills, has been nominated for the highest prize as Lifetime Africa Achievement Prize Laureate on Democratic Governance and Development in Africa. Organized every 2 years, the Lifetime Africa Achievement Prize is conferred on distinguished iconic personalities for their selfless dedication to Africa's growth and democracy. The event will be held at the State Banquet Hall in Kenya on December 15, 2012. Now to the northern region, where some scores of aggrieved residents of that capital, Tamale, this morning embarked on a demonstration to demand the removal of what they say are faulty prepaid meters installed recently by the Volta River Authority.
The placard-bearing residents moved to the Northern Regional Coordinating Council, where they presented their petition to the Regional Coordinating Director, Hassan Isahak, who received the petition on behalf of the Regional Minister. Leader of the Progressive Citizens Association of Tamale, Hassan Mohammed Hafiz, who led the demonstrators, said the VRA should remove all the prepaid meters they have installed.
We, as consumers, are appealing to your high office to ask the NETCO to, as a matter of urgency, remove all installed prepaid meters and restore normal service to affected customers and render an unconditional apology to the good people of Tamale, especially the affected customers. We wish to state clearly that we are no longer ready to pay the price of the mistakes made by VRA and NETCO. We wish to advise the VRA and NETCO to respect the people of Tamale as customers are no longer beneficiaries. We are rather customers.
The angry residents raised concerns over the new meters last week, saying they had high consumption rates, making it difficult for consumers to enjoy electricity supply.